Good evening. We begin with breaking news. A teen is in the hospital after being shot in Peoria South Side tonight. Now, 64% of Americans say Trump is not focused enough on lowering prices. Comes in like a lion, goes out like a lamb, but that's not very lamb-like. Breaking tonight, shots fired at Illinois State University in Normal. Senator Duckworth says you will pay an extra $1,200 to $2,000 a year to pay for Trump's tariffs. Ria, you've been going to the camp for a few years now. What's your favorite part about it? Planning to go on a vacation the next few days. There's a good chance you're already there. In your mind at least, right? Doing something fun while doing great work. It's a win-win situation. And I understand you shattered your record again.
Yes.
How do you guys do that? An immigration enforcement blitz is underway in Chicago. According to Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, they arrested 950 people today in Chicago, Denver, and other cities.
Never actually had
You've never
those.
had these? This brings me back to, I think, middle school. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. First at 4, President Biden approved a major disaster declaration for California because of the multiple wildfires burning out of control in Los Angeles County. Fire officials say the wind-fueled fires have killed 2 people and destroyed more than 1,000 structures so far, including many luxury homes, and thousands more are at risk. CBS's Elise Preston reports from Malibu. And we're following up on President-elect Donald Trump's statements about turning Greenland into a U.S. territory. The Arctic island has been part of Denmark for 600 years, and European leaders are warning Trump against threatening its sovereign borders. Trump saying Tuesday he would not rule out using military or economic action against Denmark to make Greenland part of the United States, saying it's critical to America's national security. Many Danes are calling it a crazy idea. And you're taking a live look now at Washington, D.C., where not even freezing temperatures in the nation's capital were enough to keep these people from paying their respects to President Jimmy Carter. The president's remains are expected to see by thousands of visitors through Thursday morning when he'll depart the Capitol, headed for the National Cathedral. His casket now resting atop the Lincoln Catafalque. It's the same structure that supported President Abraham Lincoln's body in 1865 as mourners passed solemnly by, paying their respects to the country's 39th president. President Carter's casket will be on view through tonight. Tomorrow, it will be taken to the National Cathedral for his state funeral. Well, taking a look around Illinois now, a list of reforms for the Illinois Prisoner Review Board once again failed to get through the House of Representatives. The Senate passed the measure last night, but it never got called for a vote in the other chamber. The bill would have added a number of guardrails on the Prisoner Review Board. This is the entity prisoners go in front of to request parole. The bill would have put certain requirements in place for people to be appointed to the board. The Republicans, though, felt the bill was not strong enough, but Senate President Don Harmon thought it was a good compromise. Last spring, the Senate passed a much stronger version of these rule changes, but the governor opposed it. It never received a vote in the House. Well, the state also passed a cleanup bill to have state police comply with body camera requirements. The bill also makes it so police have to notify victims and witnesses that their dash cams will stay on at scenes, even if they ask for the officer to turn their body cameras off. The Safety Act included a body camera requirement for all law enforcement agencies in the state. But because of certain issues with the Illinois State Police body camera service, they needed additional legislation to handle the mandate. And in case you missed it, the village of Morton voted to demolish the Terrace Healthcare and Rehabilitation Center on East Queenwood Road in November. And now the board is talking about its next steps. The nursing home has been vacant since it closed in 2019. The village recently bought the property for $450,000 and tore it down last month. There are potential plans for the space to include a small fire station in the future. Mayor Jeff Kaufman says it would be in an ideal space. The concrete and asphalt from the site will be recycled and placed underneath the streets of Morton. Well, can we expect a warm up anytime soon? Chief Meteorologist Chris Yates has your full weather forecast when we come back.
It just really made me realize how broken our healthcare system is, because I know he's not the only one that this happens to.
Samantha Everett says her father, Gregory Coffrin, went to the hospital for heart surgery, but left with something else. She says he contracted a dangerous drug-resistant fungus, and now no nursing home will take him.
Nobody told me, he even got it there. Nobody explained what it was. Like, I found out from it when I showed back up to visit him, and I was all of a sudden he was in an isolation room.
Now here's what Samantha said happened. In November of 2024, her father Gregory was admitted here at OSF St. Francis Medical Center in Peoria for severe heart infection. After months of bouncing in between hospitals, he was then transferred to Barnes Jewish Hospital in St. Louis. That's where he underwent complex open heart surgery and then was placed under a ventilator.
And I was not for sure if he was going to make it out of it or not.
Samantha, a nurse herself, says that's where he caught a drug-resistant fungus, Candida auris, or C. auris, and she's got the tests to prove it. So your father was tested twice for this fungus, came out negative, but this third time came up positive.
That's correct, yep.
C. auris primarily spreads in hospitals. It can be deadly for people with weakened immune systems.
Because it's particularly sticky, it does stay in that environment, and it affects people who have higher risk.
And Samantha says that new diagnosis changed everything. When Gregory was discharged in March, she says Barnes's nurses told her 70 nursing homes turned him away.
I'm like trying to figure out why, what's going on. The only thing that I could figure out would be this infection that he picked up, this fungus that he got while in Barnes.
Hillary Spencer with the Illinois Department of Public Health says C. auris alone should not prevent Gregory from finding a nursing home.
It really shouldn't be a limitation. A facility needs to be able to implement the appropriate precautions.
I reached out to Barnes, left messages for multiple departments, but never heard back. When Samantha picked her father up from Barnes, he was disoriented and confused.
So I took him right back to OSF in Peoria. So we went back there and he was admitted that same day. Quickly, they deemed that he was not able to make decisions, should not have been even allowed to choose to leave.
Samantha says OSF also tried to find a nursing home for her dad. She even made calls herself, but still nothing.
He has the C. auris, and they basically were like, he can't be in a room with somebody else. So he needs a private room, and Medicaid's not going to pay for that.
I reached out to the Illinois Department of Healthcare and Family Services, which oversees Medicaid. In a statement, they told me Medicaid does cover single occupancy rooms. Reimbursements to nursing homes depend on the resident's needs, not the type of room needed. I mean, how does this whole experience make you feel?
It makes me have very little confidence in our healthcare system. I mean, and it also really just sheds a light on those who don't have people to advocate for them.